Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 10, powered by Greenply.
Ladies and gentlemen, 134 people fell to their death. What was their fault? Was it that they decided to go to a tourist spot? Was it that they bought tickets for less than 20 rupees each before getting on the bridge? Was it that they foolishly thought that going on an open suspension bridge that they thought was approved by the government is safe? Or was it that they simply chose to have a good time on a weekend with their family and friends? Tonight, let's be clear. If there is no justice in the Morbi tragedy, the message will be that human lives don't matter. Let's debate.
Loud cries for help. Distraught panic calls. Bodies scattered across the Morbi bridge area. People holding on to the bridge for dear life, hoping to survive. Bodies being rushed into hospitals. Women, little children, the elderly being brought in on stretchers. Distraught kin looking for missing family members. Traumatized victims of the collapse. Families who have lost their loved ones in what was meant to be a joyful weekend excursion. And a death toll that is unprecedented. The scale of human loss is heart-wrenching. The big bosses of the private company handling the bridge are out and about.
The rescue operation, which is continuously underway by NDRF team, Indian Army, Indian Navy, and even what have been told by the authorities, which clearly mention that till the time they don't find the last person, the last missing person, since till then the rescue operation will be underway. क्या उनके परिवार आपके पास कोई आ रहे हैं, बता रहे हैं कि उनके कोई लोग हैं जो उनके मिसिंग है?
परिवार वाले भी आए हैं, बता रहे हैं कि हमारे लड़के के बच्चे आए नहीं अभी तक, कोई फैमिली नहीं है.
The big bosses of the private company handling the bridge are out and about. The police is issuing paltry statements.
पुलिस का और प्रशासन का इतना फास्ट रिस्पॉन्स इस पूरी प्रक्रिया के तहत हुआ है कि तुरंत मोरबी पुलिस, मोरबी के पब्लिक, सब लोगों ने एक उत्तम दाखला मानवता को बचाने के लिए कल किया है.
Accountability is still missing.
बिना एनओसी के कैसे ब्रिज खोला गया? सर बिना एनओसी के कैसे ब्रिज खोला गया? सर प्लीज सर, आप बाहर नहीं कर सकते सर, आप बाहर नहीं कर सकते.
So when 134 people die, when 49 little kids fall to their deaths, when justice is not done, one must ask, do human lives not matter? Let's debate.
अहमदाबाद से अनिल चावड़ा जी हैं, जो जिनकी भांजी 7 साल की उनके पेरेंट्स का देहांत हुआ है इस हादसे में. और जगदीश भाई हमारे साथ है मोरबी से, उनके कई फैमिली मेम्बर्स ब्रिज में थे. जगदीश भाई, आपको मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है? अनिल जी, मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है आपको? अनिल जी, अनिल जी, आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं?
आ रही है सर।
नमस्कार। अनिल जी, आप ज़रा बताएंगे ये हादसे के समय,
हाँ, सुन पा रहा है।
हादसे के समय आपके फैमिली के कौन कौन वहाँ पे थे और कैसे हुआ, आपको खबर कब आई?
हादसे के समय
ज़रा इसके डिटेल आप बताइए हमें।
पहले मेरे फैमिली में मेरा भाई, बड़ा भाई, फिर मेरे भाभी, फिर उसकी छोटी बच्ची थी, और मोरबी से मेरी बड़ी बहन रहती है, वहाँ से उनका लड़की और लड़की थी, लड़का और लड़की थी।
तो ब्रिज में कौन कौन थे उस समय?
उस समय मेरा बड़ा भाई, मेरी भाभी थी, और उसकी छोटी बच्ची थी, और भांजी थी और भांजा था, लेकिन बस वो 6 थे।
कितने बचे?
5 थे सो। वो उसमें से 3 डेथ हो गए और 2 बच गए हैं।
और उन्होंने जो आपके फैमिली से जो बचे इस हादसे में, उन्होंने कुछ कहा, उनसे बात हुई? अभी वो अस्पताल में हैं या घर में वापस आए हैं? उनकी हालत क्या है अभी इस वक्त?
नहीं, वो तो नॉर्मल है। बच्ची है ना, 6.5 साल की है, उसको तो नॉर्मल कंडीशन है। और जो भांजा था ना, वो मोरबी में रहता है, वो भी उसके ये कोने में लगा है, वो तैरना जानता था, तो वो बच गया किसी तरह से।
मगर बहुत शौक हुआ होगा ना इतने छोटे बच्चों को, बहुत जिस तरह से एक शौक हुआ है वो आपके फैमिली के लिए बहुत बहुत मुश्किल समय है ये, अनिल जी।
हाँ, वो मेरा भाई है ना सर, वो सब कुछ था मेरे घर में, और मेरी भाभी भी।
जो लोग देख रहे हैं, सरकार, आप उनको कुछ कहना चाहेंगे अनिल जी?
सरकार से तो यही दरख्वास्त है कि कोई भी काम करो तो सोचे समझे करो, और उस पर ध्यान लगा के करो, कोई भी परमिशन दो। ऐसे पब्लिक की जिंदगी कोई सस्ती नहीं है। अगर
जी बोलिए, बोलिए अनिल जी, बोलिए, आपको मेरी आवाज़, आप बोलिए जी।
ऐसे आप, हाँ, प्रशासन से यही है दरख्वास्त के जो भी हो गया है वो उस पर ध्यान दे और उसका सही तरह से निर्णय ले।
अनिल जी, अभी मैं जो इसकी जो तहकीकात कर रहा था, इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहा था, इसमें ये बात निकली है कि जो ये ब्रिज है ना, इसकी फिटनेस सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिली थी। यानी कि ब्रिज को परमिशन नहीं दी गई थी। उसके बावजूद उन्होंने लोगों से टिकट लेकर उनको जाने दिया। इसकी अनुमति नहीं थी, कोई फिटनेस सर्टिफिकेट नहीं थी, ये प्राइवेट कंपनी खुद कर रही थी। जगदीश भाई, आपको मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है? जगदीश भाई, आपके फैमिली से कौन कौन थे वहाँ पे ब्रिज पे? हाँ, कुछ कह रहे हैं अनिल जी? बोलिए अनिल जी, बोलिए।
मेरा बड़ा भाई था, मेरी भाभी थी, छोटी बच्ची थी, और एक भांजी और एक भांजा था। उसमें से भांजी थी की डेथ हो गई, और मेरा बड़ा भाई और भाभी की डेथ हो गई, और वो एक भांजा बच गया, और एक मेरी भाई और भाभी की बेटी बच गई है।
हमारे साथ मोरबी से जगदीश भाई भी हैं। जगदीश भाई, मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
मेरे पापा है, जयसिंह भाई है ना।
नहीं, जगदीश भाई हमारे साथ मोरबी से हैं।
जगदीश भाई नहीं, जयसिंह भाई सर।
नहीं, अभी हमारे साथ अलग एक लाइन पे ना जगदीश भाई है मोरबी से, हमारे साथ और एक हमारे गेस्ट है। जगदीश भाई जी, मेरी आवाज आ रही है? मैं अर्नब बोल रहा हूँ। जगदीश भाई
आ रही है।
जगदीश भाई, आपके फैमिली के कौन कौन थे ब्रिज पे?
आ रही है आवाज।
आपके फैमिली के कौन कौन थे ब्रिज में?
एक मेरा बेटा और मेरा भाई और उसका बेटा।
आपको खबर कब मिली?
हेलो।
आपको खबर कब मिली इस हादसे के बारे में जगदीश भाई?
मेरे को 7 बजे।
तो आप जब ब्रिज के पास
7 बजे
पहुंचे,
खबर मिली।
आप जब ब्रिज के पास पहुंचे आपने क्या देखा उस समय?
उस समय भी गिरा हुआ था और सब निकल रहे थे।
जगदीश भाई जी, ये आपके फैमिली, आपके बेटे, आपके भाई और आपके भांजे जब वहाँ पे गए थे मोरबी के ब्रिज पे, वहाँ पे और 600-700 लोग थे उस समय।
हाँ, उतना था।
Ladies and gentlemen, Jagdish Bhai, who's on my right, has lost his brother, his son and his nephew in the Morbi bridge collapse. Anil Chawra is the uncle of the 7-year-old girl who lost her parents in the Morbi bridge collapse. अनिल जी, मुझे तो मैं मतलब क्या कहूँ आपको, मुझे लगता है कि हमारे देश में ना जो आम नागरिक है उनकी जान की कोई कीमत नहीं है।
सही बात है सर आपकी।
और बड़े बड़े कंपनी ऐसे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट टेंडर ले लेते हैं, सरकारें आती हैं, म्यूनिसिपैलिटी किसी और पे दोष दे के आगे निकलने की कोशिश करती है। गुस्सा तो बहुत होगा ना आज वहाँ पे अनिल जी, पूरे परिवार वाले वहाँ पे तो हैं, आपके साथ बैठे हुए हैं, मैं देख रहा हूँ।
गुस्सा तो क्या, मेरे भाई भाभी चले गए।
बिल्कुल अनिल जी और जगदीश भाई, आप हमारे साथ बने रहें। हमारे साथ नीलम कृष्णमूर्ति जी हैं, बेजॉन मिश्रा हैं, 2 नागरिक हैं जो खुलकर बहुत बोलते हैं। नीलम कृष्णमूर्ति हैज़ लॉस्ट हर own children in the Upar tragedy many years back. Kapil Madan is with us, Manojit Mandal of the Trinamool Congress is with us, and Charu Pragya of the BJP is with us. Nilam Krishnamurthy, 134 lives lost, not one name in the FIR. 49 children have died. They were all excited about going out for the family, and the police has a problem with the Republic reporter asking questions. Bodies are yet to be recovered, Neelam ji. Several people are still missing, but the bosses of Oriva are not in custody. Seems like deja vu all over again, doesn't it, Neelam ji?
Well, Arnab, absolutely. That's precisely what I was going to say, that I'm experiencing deja vu since last night. And before I say anything else, Arnab, my heartfelt condolences to the families who've lost their loved ones, because as a mother, I can empathize with them. I know what it means to lose your children. This is the worst thing the parents can ever go through. And each time I see, these things, man-made disasters happening in India, it angers me a lot. And I feel that I have utterly failed in my mission. My endeavor was not just to get justice for these 59 people or Unnati and Ujjwal. My endeavor has been to ensure that such tragedies can be avoided. Why can't we have a law to deal with man-made disaster? These are all man-made disasters. I've been requesting the government to bring in a law to deal with man-made disaster. There is a consultation paper which has been approved by the Law Commission of India. Why can't the government bring in this law? Because unless we have a deterrence, because everybody in our country knows that we can get away by murder. And this is nothing. This is, people are calling it negligence. No, this is murder by willful negligence. It's very sad that in our country, we have scant regard for safety. be it fire safety or any other safety, wherever safety standards are to be met. It can be a lift, it can be a bridge, it can be road safety. We really don't value safety, and there is absolutely scant regard for the value of human life in the country. The only lives that matter in our country are of our politicians, the VVIPs. An ordinary citizen in this country has no value. And I've been experiencing this for the last 26 years, Arnab, and I know I've been seeing all the channels, and I can only say one thing, that my heart bleeds when I see these politicians politicizing this. They should all hang their heads in shame today, because they can all come and politicize this because they are not their children. Had any of them lost their child in a tragedy like this, they would know what it means to lose a child. It's very easy to come and blame each other. Why can't they all get together in crisis like this and say, okay, what is it that we can learn from this? Let's do something concrete rather than blaming each other. When are we ever going to learn, Arnab?
No, it's the question of making.
It's very shameful. I can only say that.
See, what concerns me here, Charu and Manojit and Kapil and Bijonda, I'll bring you all into the debate. What concerns me here is the callousness of a private party that is allowed for less than 20 rupees a ticket to risk the life. And the private party knows, Kapil. You see, the private party knows that the bridge only has capacity for 100 to 150 people as per the subcontractor. The private party knows, but they allow 600 people onto the bridge, which means they are risking at least 450 human lives. If you calculate 450 tickets at 17 rupees, that is 8,000 rupees or 9,000 rupees they will earn. So for 9,000 rupees, you are willing to risk 400 human lives. That tells you when yes, Kapil.
Can I come in, Arnab? 20,000 rupees per annum.
Yes.
Arnab, can I start, please?
Yeah, I'd like Kapil. Kapil was just speaking, and maybe after that, Charu, you can come in, please. Yeah, Kapil.
I would, I would totally agree with you, with your numbers and with your logic here. And, to me, it looks like a case of gross criminal negligence. And what, the government is trying to do, they're trying to shirk away their responsibility by just naming, the lower level employees. Now, we need to understand here, there are reports that suggest that the company that was awarded the maintenance award was into some sort of a clock making business. They don't have any experience per se, as per the reports, of doing any construction activity, any infrastructure activity. So we need to get to the root of this matter to find out which was the committee that decided that this award.
There is another point, Kapil. There's another point, Kapil, I want to raise here. Let us assume, some people were trying to say in my first debate, Manojit and Charu, that this was corporate social responsibility, almost as if the company was doing the people of Morbi a good turn. If they were doing the people of Morbi a good turn, they should not be charging people tickets to go on the bridge. But there is another matter. They say it is such a big company, Bijonda, it is running into thousands of crores in valuation and revenue, I don't know. But if it is such a big company, then Bijonda, why did they not hire the world's top project management consultants, the world's top structural engineers, the world's top civil engineers? Why did they not hire the best engineering consultants, the best architects, which means they could have, Bijonda. They can afford it, but they didn't.
Because they know very well, Arnab, that they can get away doing substandard work at the cost of compromising on the lives of the people and not become accountable, because they are quite sure that they will get away even if a catastrophe happens like this. And they have got away. And let me tell you, Arnab, I've been watching your channel right from the time the news was broken.
Yes.
And I found that your reporters were unable to get the authorities to punish the culprits and the criminals, and they were not coming out clearly taking onus and the responsibility. You see, my contention is things can go wrong. It can happen. But you have to get into action to catch the criminals and catch the culprits and give such a deterrent message that such actions do not happen again.
My
and
reporters...
As you said, Arnab, that they could have engaged the best of talents, best of expertise to build this bridge under whatever scheme, CRS or whatever scheme they want. But the point is, it showed their greed. It showed that they wanted to profiteer.
No, I want to just, if possible, if the producers can pull up the picture, Charu, of the people hanging on to the bridge. You know, yesterday when I saw this picture, I couldn't sleep after seeing this picture. This image yesterday is so haunting. If we can play it again, full frame, not even any packaging, just run the raw footage here. And there are these hundreds of people who are hanging on and then holding on to each other and trying to climb up. And there is a 10-year-old boy who says, I survived because I caught hold of a hanging rope and slowly climbed up, but my father and mother are still missing. You know, this image, viewers, of people hanging, if you can just lower the grid, please, so the visuals can breathe a little bit. Have a look at the pictures there, viewers. This is just horrifying. And I was looking at this and saying, why is this happening? It is because essentially these people who have died falling off the bridge, they are not politicians, they are not bureaucrats, they are not top policemen. They are ordinary citizens for whom they felt a 17 rupee ticket is what they can afford, Charu. These are not people who can afford to go to a, who would afford to go to a multiplex and spend 5,000 rupees for seeing a movie. These are ordinary people and their lives don't seem to matter. Now, Charu, you tell me, and Monajit Mandal can also come in on this. Why does the FIR not name any person? And when my reporter was asking the IG the question, he or she were almost being physically assaulted. Why?
Arnab, let me begin with folded hands by paying condolences to every single precious life lost in this tragedy. And whether this was deliberate or an act of gross negligence, the liability of this has to be strict and the punishment has to be swift. I very quickly want to take you through a few points. The government has, of course, given compensation. The rescue operations are on. Medical help is being given. Strict investigation has begun. 9 arrests have been made. At the same time, an SIT has been formed. The Prime Minister himself is personally monitoring this. But the most important thing here is...
So why does the FIR not name any person? Why does the FIR not name any person?
Let me please finish this.
Or organization responsible?
Because the FIR was... So maybe the FIR was filed in a great hurry. But at the same time, the Labour Minister of Gujarat has taken...
How can the FIR be in a hurry?
Arnab, if you listen to Brijesh Ji's statement, he has said that it is my government that takes responsibility. This is not a case where we are trying to fix accountability.
So to the contrary,
this is our people, and we will make sure the culprits are
on the contrary, the argument has been made that the Gujarat government didn't have any role in it, direct or indirect. And the argument being made here is that the renovation and opening of the bridge was done by the Morbi administration, not by the Gujarat government. So there are technical lines being drawn there.
Yes, there was no permission. There was no permission that was officially taken by the local municipality. That was not done. And in spite of not having express permission to reopen the bridge was reopened. And there has to be punishment for that. Heads will roll.
Why was the bridge reopened when it was not supposed to be opened?
Not a job.
Why was it reopened when it was not supposed to be reopened?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Arnab. It was not supposed to be opened, and we cannot bring back lost lives.
So who takes the responsibility?
Reverse the tragedy, unfortunately.
Who takes the responsibility?
No, she's asking here. He's asking here who takes the responsibility.
Please don't.
No, one minute. Bejon is asking who takes the responsibility.
Who takes the responsibility?
So even if it is a private company.
In this. Come on now. Don't try to, push the
did I not just begin? Did I not just begin by saying that Gujarat government is taking full responsibility? Were you not listening to me? Were you not listening to a word I said? I
No,
opened
I did
my
not hear
life
that.
by saying that
Who takes
our
the
government takes
responsibility?
complete
Where is
responsibility.
Monojit?
Who takes the
Get him back.
I
responsibility?
said,
I want to
BJP,
Get
hear
him.
that.
the Labour Minister takes complete responsibility. No, please don't
Why
do this
doesn't
because
he
this is
resign?
on video now.
Why
Get him
doesn't
back.
he
When I
resign
said
right
that
away?
the government takes responsibility,
Okay,
you cannot
Neelam
just quote
Krishnamurti
me.
is
You
countering.
cannot hear me.
Neelam
That's your
Krishnamurti is
problem,
countering.
not mine.
Let's get
That's
Monojit
your
back on the
problem, not
debate.
mine.
Neelam Krishnamurti is countering. Charu,
Yeah.
please listen.
I
Charu,
want
please
to
listen.
No. Yeah, Charu, if you're saying your Gujarat government is taking the responsibility, then please tell me whom should we prosecute? Whom will the police be prosecuting? Will the Home Minister be prosecuted or somebody else? Or the Labour Minister? If you're so confidently saying that it's the government who's taking the responsibility, somebody has to take the responsibility. There has to be an accountability.
Monojit.
You just
So
can't
can
get
I-
away by saying...
I understand your frustration.
Can I come in?
No. It's not frustration. In fact, in an earlier, I just get in Monojit here. In an earlier debate, somebody used the word angst, and I would just say, Charu, there is a big difference between angst and anger. This is not angst. This is anger. And I want Monojit to come in. The question here, Monojit, we are debating is who takes responsibility? Monojit.
I'm boiling with anger, but I know I have to check myself. I have to restrain myself because I'm speaking on behalf of a political party. But look at the number of deaths and response from the
Don't be
government.
a hypocrite.
And
Let
I'm really
Monojit
sorry,
respond.
Arnab.
Monojit,
You are
one minute.
stopping.
Bejonda, let Monojit have his say.
No,
Please,
one
I'll come to you. Yeah.
First you say
One minute. Charu, let him have his say.
person?
He's coming
When
in late.
someone
Thank you.
takes
Thank you. Let him have his say.
responsibility.
He has a say. He'll disagree with you. Let him have his say.
Shouting. Who is that person shouting like an uncourteous,
Okay,
unwisely
come.
old
Make your
man?
point, please. No personal attacks.
Who is
Continue.
speaking?
Make
When
your
I'm
point.
speaking?
Make your point, Monojit. Bejonda, please restrain yourself.
Just, please, don't disturb me. You are lecturing about politics when one person died because of a bridge collapse in 2018 in Kolkata. You are running for Mamtadi's head. You should be ashamed of yourself. Please stop this unwisely old man first. I'm not going to debate with this person.
Switch it.
I'm not going to debate with this hypocrite. Please stop this person first. Arnab, please stop this person
Continue. He's not even saying
141
anything.
people
Continue.
were killed. You are stopping at the company's head. What about look at the way that the contract was given to this company? The municipal authority, the minister, not a single minister even visited the site. The chief minister, and when one person was very unfortunately killed because of a bridge collapse in Kolkata in 2018 September, 4 years back, you were gunning for Mamtadi's head. Ashamed. Be ashamed of yourself.
I remember
141 people were killed.
Even now,
141 people were killed. And they, even 7 days back, when flash flood happened in Bengal, you are gunning for Mamtadi's head. You should be ashamed of yourself. Arnab,
No, I never did that.
You are stopping only at the company.
Don't mislead the
or just
viewers.
watching yourself for the last 28
now
minutes.
let me
You are
expand on that.
blaming only the
Let me
company.
expand on that, Monojit.
Not
Let
even
me
blaming
expand on
the
that.
authority.
Let me
Forget
expand
about
on
the
that, and
government.
this is the tragedy in our country.
about
1
the
minute.
government. This
Monojit,
tragedy
allow me to
was
expand on that.
man-made
Allow me to
murder,
expand on
I
that.
tell you.
1 minute.
This could have been
I'll
avoided.
tell you where
This
I'm
is
coming from
man-made
here.
murder.
And by the
And
way,
you are giving 4 lakh compensation.
Monojit,
Shame on you.
Monojit.
4 lakh compensation as for the lives, 4 lakh, and you are talking about that?
Okay, now you made your point, let me make mine. In this country,
person is saying that
Charu and Monojit, I just want to bring in Neelam Krishnamurti once more. The fact is, Monojit, the fact is that every single time there has been a tragedy at this scale, the accused have never been held responsible. The accused are never held responsible, Monojit. Do you think we forget the Bhopal gas tragedy? In 1992, Warren Anderson escaped the country, was declared an absconder, eventually died unpunished in 2014. Was there punishment? No. And let me remind you of the AMRI tragedy. Who was held responsible for the AMRI fire tragedy in 2018? The fire at the Advanced Medical Research Institute Hospital in Kolkata, which caused the death of 94 people. Weren't the owners of the hospital let off on bail within 1 year, despite being booked for culpable homicide?
by the government of
I can give you example after example.
Response of the chief minister.
Example after example.
Silent.
Let me tell you about the Upar tragedy.
The chief minister is into
Ansal
hiding.
brothers got relief in August 2015 by paying a fine of 30 crore for the death of 59 people in the Upar cinemas. Is that not a fact? Neelam Krishnamurthy, the fact is the citizen is seen as an expendable resource.
Making a statement.
The citizen is seen as an expendable resource in our country. And that's why people take chances.
No, I don't agree with that, Arnab.
Why did you open the bridge? Who gave the permission to open the bridge?
Neelam Krishnamurthy is on the debate right now. Neelam Krishnamurthy. Neelam.
Is it? Arnab, give me a second. I'd like to respond to her. Is it not the fact that Ansals were allowed to work free after paying a fine of 30 crore for a trauma center?
That's
Give
true.
me one incident in this country where people responsible for the Myanmar disaster have ever been punished. Who has ever been incarcerated in this country? Nobody. What do you mean you don't agree? It's a fact. Give me one person's name who's been incarcerated in this country, who's been responsible for the thousands of deaths that have taken place in this country. You will not get a single name. Which Supreme Court? Give me where the matters reach the Supreme Court. Where is Bhopal gas tragedy? Where is Amray Hospital? Where
The
is South
Surat fire
Hospital?
tragedy
Where is Carlton
2019.
Tower? Where is
22 children died in a tuition center. All the three accused were released on a 10,000 rupee bail bond.
Bring them, punish
And
them.
why
Why did you bring the
Please tell me where people have ever been punished in this country.
She says,
Don't talk out of your
when
head
have
like
people
that.
ever been punished in this
can't all
country
speak over each other. Can I please have my turn?
for in cases like this? Very specific question. She must answer. Charu.
Yeah. So, Arnab, you know,
Yes,
we
I
also
want
need
the answer
to, in a
first.
responsible manner, understand that the law of our country works in a specific way, which needs an overhauling. We have to work on that. But at the same time, you cannot, I don't understand who is this person who will not stop talking. None of us are being heard, sir. None of us are being heard. Please wait for your turn. So the fact is that you cannot equate this incident to any other, because here the government is not shying away from taking responsibility. Here the government is saying that whoever it is, whether it is the company which was involved in the manufacture, the renovation, whether it was the company which was involved in the contractual
No, but whose name? The company involved in the FIR has not been named.
Further will be made.
No, the company involved in the construction, the top bosses of the company have not been held.
Process. And while we are on a point of law, let me also
No.
say
We are
that
on a point of
Section
ethics.
304 has been
We are on a
invoked.
point of
We
ethics,
cannot-
not law. We'll come to law later. The bosses of the bosses of the group
nobody's moving away from it.
the bosses
This
of the group have
entire
not been booked.
This entire and Arnab, if you will allow me, there is one more thing that I want to point out, and I'm not being political here. I am only being somebody who's been looking at a lot of eyewitness accounts and a lot of videos on television. First of all, those who allowed 500 extra people onto the bridge need to be booked, because the company was very clear.
Did the police not see? Did the local authorities not know? Was the municipality not aware?
More people than that. Yes, and
Were they not
should
aware?
be questioned again.
Were there no regulations to be followed? No, the private party is not a law into itself, Charu. The private party is not a law into itself, Charu. No. 1 minute. I'll hold you right there. See, the private party cannot decide the law.
But can I please
No, the private party cannot decide the law. You can't say the private party, that there were regulations to be applied on the private party by government officials.
And when
Kapil also wants to come. Kapil,
applied to, there has to be punishment. But let me finish the point I was trying to raise, Arnab, please. There have been a series of suspect tweets since the day before the tragedy by Aam Aadmi Party politicians. Now I hope and pray it's a mere coincidence.
No. I think that is you're kite flying now. You're kite flying now. Are you trying to give an escape route? Are you trying to give an escape route to the Oriva group by saying that?
I'm absolutely not. I am the first.
Are you trying to give an escape? No, 1 minute, Charu. Now Kapil's countering you. 1 minute. Let's not do kite flying here. Either you produce the proof.
Not to Areva, not to anybody.
No. Kapil is countering you. Yeah, Kapil.
Arnab, I respect Charu a lot, because she, makes sensible point. But here she has, committed miserable error. The first issue is she fails to answer that how carelessly the bridge was opened. Now, the second she, makes a statement that the FIR was registered carelessly and the top bosses of the company were not named in the FIR. I will just, tell Charu here that, there is a third level of carelessness, which is we are witnessing now on the TV channel where you are trying to defend it. It is undefendable. And what Charu is now trying to argue is, she is now trying to politicize.
Nobody is defending it. I'm the last person who will defend something like this, and you are well aware of that. At the end of the day, we are also citizens of this country, and ma'am might say something else, but politicians are also people, ma'am. We are also bleeding and grieving, and I'm also a mother. So just because we have chosen a profession which is not the same as yours, it does not mean that we have no conscience. It does not mean we have no empathy. It does not mean that. We have also been as involved emotionally in this tragedy as anybody else, and that is why our Honorable Prime Minister is on the job, monitoring this 24/7.
If that is the case, Charu, Arnab, give me a second, Charu. If that is the case, please request the Prime Minister of the country to bring in a law to deal with the man-made disaster. Let these people be punished with the
yes, ma'am, and I will be the first one to advocate.
So we bring in a difference in our country.
Absolutely.
That's the only way.
A lot of amendments.
No, Charu,
we need fresh laws in the country. I'm the first one to agree with you.
We don't have a law, Charu. Charu, we don't have a law at all. I'm sorry, we don't have a law to deal with man-made disaster.
And I'm the first one to agree with you. I will be leading an advocacy group if my voice will matter. And I understand our laws lack in several ways, and we're trying to work on it. We have to amend the IPC.
We have to include stricter sections for man-made disasters. There has to be liability. Charu, just a minute. Charu, just a moment. Get me an appointment with the law minister. Tell him I want to come and see him tomorrow. I want to push this law for the man-made disaster. If you do that, I'll say this government cares. There is a consultation paper available on the Law Commission website since 2012. I have written to your government 3 times to the law minister. I've got no response. So please tell them to do something. Get me an appointment tomorrow. I'll go there 10 o'clock. But let them do something. I would say this government cares for the people of this country. Let's do something concrete.
Let this be a wake-up call, she's saying. I completely agree with her. I completely agree with her. I completely agree with her on this. Otherwise, we'll keep debating these points. We want this to be constructive. Monojit also wants to make a point. Monojit, last word to you, and then I'm moving on.
One thing.
Yeah.
We just want to know one thing. When the bridge did not have the completion certificate, fitness certificate, why it was given to open? Who gave the permission? These people were called through WhatsApp. Look at the details, the chilling details. They were invited to come and see the bridge by spending the money. Who did this? Why? And this bridge was 150 years old. You gave the contract to a company.
First of all, I think the other question should be asked right now. We talk about building infrastructure in this country. Why does a 100-year-old bridge even exist? And why does that have to be renovated by the corporate social responsibility of a private group? Why does the government not spend its money in replacing the bridge? That's one point. I'll have to move on. We are following this. Our reporters are on the ground. We have investigative teams, and let me tell you, we're not going to let go till there is some accountability, especially of the Oriva group. And finally, viewers, it is